Shegun Fatima, good morning. Rochelle White, Pearl David, Lati Shoronke, Joshua Hedrick, Lola Shoronke, Bidemi, Laulu, Efeturi, Shigo, Ushi Amadi, Beati, Fayo Yiwa, Anastasia, Koyejo, Shisandra, Galina Kirishenka, Adeola Disu, Wilson, Mike Ken, Phrase, Ufuoma, Oshuko, Lara, Jide, Caroline, Shoronke, Fumi Jaboda, Olu Yombi Adenike, Nkiru Ojimadu, Good morning, everyone. Now let's go and share the link, if you don't mind. Let's go and share the link to this message. Omonike, Nkem Dike, Mayowa Michael Afolabi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now let's go share the link to this message, please. Once you have done the link, once you have shared the link, then before we start, I would like to discuss one or two things with you. So let's share the link, please. Let's go share the link. Josie Paul, welcome. Ojuolape, welcome as well. So let's go share the link to this message, and then once you have shared it, let me know. Now, I am at a very I'm at a crossroad here. Maybe not really a crossroad, but a very dicey place, a very confusing place for me. Let me just tell you the truth of where I am, okay? And I want us to talk. I want us to talk this over together with you guys and men and women. You know, a lot of the things I just feel I wanted to talk about women this week. I've been talking a lot about husbands and fathers, and everybody been saying, why are you not talking about the women? That the men also need you to talk to the ladies, for the women to know what the men want and things like that. But I'm looking at all the topics, And I've never been in a dilemma about what to preach about like today, like this week, because I think I don't want to see myself as talking to the ladies, like, because I feel almost everywhere else you go to, people are talking down the ladies. And people are talking down the wives, the women, the ladies. And I don't want to join that team. I don't want to join that bandwagon. I don't want to be saying this, saying things women are supposed to do when I know men are not doing what men are supposed to do. So it's a tough call for me, because I want to express the desires of the men to the women, but I know the men have not always done what they are supposed to do. I know the men have not, because women respond, And even though these needs of the men might be legitimate, some of them are not, and so a lot of those things that the men want, I know that they are not right as well. That is another confusing thing. I know what the men are asking for, they are not always right. And that if the men will act right, they will get what they need automatically. But in most places, what you hear is just people talking about the woman doing everything. If you people want, I have a lot of things I could talk about here. So many things. But let's talk about it. What do you people think? Should we talk about what men expect from women? Or what husbands expect from their wives? Or what kind of women men marry or men want to marry? Or who is a good wife? Or how to be a good wife? Or what is the ideal expectation of the man from the woman? A lot of things that I could talk about. Or I should just talk about a woman's potential, a woman's necessity to grow, a woman's need for herself to be fulfilled, and things like that. But the men also want to hear me talk to the ladies, not just about the ladies themselves, but about their relationship with the men. I really want to see what the needs are out there. Nkem is saying it is necessary. What is necessary? Okay, let me see what you are writing here. Yes, Nkiru is right. I don't want to add salt to women's injury. I have the messages ready, but I just don't feel, even though I'm also pitying the boys, I think the men might want themselves to be protected, and they want to hear something from in their favor. Okay, Nkem is saying it is necessary. What is necessary? Freeze Maiken is saying, what kind of woman men marry? Yeah, that's not a bad one. What kind of woman men marry? Not bad. I could talk about that. What kind of woman men marry? Okay. Caroline says, if the man is doing everything right, how should the woman respond? Okay? But when will you get the woman to do everything right, first of all? Okay, the men are saying we should talk about what, okay, Bidemi here is a man, is saying we should talk about what the men are expecting from the woman. Okay, so Jide said men need that. Men need the balance. Okay. So men want me to talk to the women, to the wives. So Unkem wants me to talk about what the men want from their wives. Okay. How to become a good wife. Okay. Laulu said men should talk out. I believe men need to talk more. Okay. Jide says, speak about the type of woman a man would like to marry. Okay. What men want from women. Okay. That's what Pastor Obi is saying. So you want us to talk about? Okay, now I've reduced everything to two topics, to two things now. The first thing is that, do you want me to talk about the kind of woman men want to marry, or the kind of woman men pick to marry, or what a man expects from their wives? Those are the two topics now that are the leading ones. Either it is what a man already, a husband, expects from the wife, or the kind of wives or the kind of woman that men pick to marry or that men want to marry. Okay, what men expect from their wives. Okay. What men expect from their wives. All right. So we are going to be talking about the topic, what a man expects from their wives. Okay, that is the topic I suppose I put out. Michael still wants the type of, she wants the kind of woman the people want to marry. But I'm seeing most people are talking about what men expect from their wives. And maybe one day also maybe this week or next week, I will also talk about, I will just start with what men expect from their wives, and then I will go on to talk about, I will talk about what men expect from their wives, even though I've spoken about it a little bit before. I've spoken about this a little bit, maybe 1 month ago or just before the HMT. But I will speak about it in more detail, what men expect from their wives. And then from there, we will go to what are the kind of women that men pick to marry. Okay, let's talk about what men expect from their wives. I'm going to put them not in according to order of importance, right? I'm just going to put them as they come, okay? And so, it doesn't have to follow. But let me start with the most important one. The most important thing a woman expects from his wife, the most important thing a man expects from his wife is that the woman, this to me, it looks a little bit selfish, but I'm just going to give you as they are, all right? Just the way it is. And it is not, this is not something coming from me, and this is not even coming from the men. This is a need that is in the mind of the woman. This is a need in the lives of the men. The men need it, and there is nothing I and you can do about it. The men need this, and even God recognizes this need. And the need is that the men want their women to let them know that they are respected. The men, most husbands want their wives to show them, find any way of showing it. Show it any way you can. But the men they have that need for their wives to display to them, to prove to them that they are respected. I don't know how you understand that, and I don't know if what I'm saying is clear enough or is not clear enough. Yeah, Maria Olaleye, you see, she's crying and she say, wow, again, here we come, respect again, here it comes again. And she's crying, she's putting cry sign there, and that's why I didn't want to address this topic, frankly speaking. That is why I did not want to address this topic, because too many people talking down on the woman. That is just too many. Everywhere you go, people are talking about this thing. Yeah, you see, Paul also is saying, you see, we don't enter again, no, we have entered, no, we women have entered. And you see, another one is raised. Adenika is saying most men nowadays don't even respect themselves. Not to talk about women respecting them. So what respect are they expecting? I envisage this. I thought as much. I thought as much that this is going to be painful for the girls, and I don't want to add salt to injury. But if you said you people voted for this, I guess that you people voted for it, so you said I should talk about it. I'm being obedient. Blessing said, I too am crying because the men want the women to respect them even when they don't treat us well. Okay, Jide says that, sir, women also need to have this knowledge that there can be balance, so that there can be balance in the home. I have deep respect for women. I grew up with two sisters. Yeah. Okay, let me approach it this way. Let's assume that the men are doing their duties. Okay, let's do it this way. Let's assume that the men are doing their duties and the men are being worthy men. Let's just assume that the men are being noble men. Let's assume that the men are taking responsibility. Now, the Dr. Sufficient doesn't always talk at all. She doesn't write anything. She would rather tell me here she's leaving my house, so she would rather come to me and let me know what she's thinking. But now she's writing. I got to take that serious. And she's saying, well, Pastor, the truth has to be told. For the teaching to be balanced, it takes two to make marriage work. I want to know, please. So, maybe I should say it, but say it from the perspective of, let's just assume that the man is doing his best. Let's assume that the man, Nkiru is crying and saying, assume, Abi. So we are just assuming. Well, okay, not just assume, but let's believe that the man is doing his best. Let's believe that the man is doing his best and is trying to be a father, is trying to be a man. Let's say the man is trying to be a pillar, trying to be a covering, trying to be the foundation that he's supposed to be, and he's doing his best. So if the man is doing his best, you know what? One of the really good ways for a woman to really encourage him is for the woman to show him honor. Now, let me tell you about men. The thing about men is this: when it comes to honor and respect, to them is on the same level as women asking to know if she is loved. For the man, just like a woman wants to be loved, just like a woman wants to be cared for, just like a woman wants to be treated with love and adoration and adulation as well. So also to the man, the desire for love for the woman is natural, is indwelt in her. And for the man also, the man has the desire. Okay, Beate is asking, what is special about respecting a man? Both men and women need to be respected. Yes, both men and women need to be respected. But for the man, just like saying both men and women need to be loved. Yes, but just for the man, he needs more respect than he needs love. Can you believe that? A man needs to be respected more than he needs to be loved. A man doesn't need to be told, for example, that I love you, I love you, I love you. A man doesn't need to be told like that. But a man needs to be told that, you know what, I respect you. You are the best. I just honor you, my husband. But of course, not just saying that. A man doesn't just need to be told, but you need to argue it. Tell him what he is doing that makes you to want to respect him. Like for example, if a woman would tell the husband that, I just admire the way you care for the family. I just thank you for the way you are trying to do your best to cover for me, to cover for the family, to take care of me, to be a father to me, to be a father to the children. I just see all your efforts. I see what you are doing. I see all the energy you are putting into it. You are just the best, I love you. I respect you. You are my, like in our language, they call it the owner of the purchaser of my right or something like that. You know, Olowori or something. You are my worthy head. You are my pride. You are my hero. You are my superhero. Something like that. You are my superhero. I just admire. You know, what he really wants is to know that his efforts are being appreciated, and that you appreciate him so much to submit yourself to him. That you appreciate him so much to submit yourself to him, to tell him that you deserve, you have won my respect. You've won my respect. You've won my admiration. He wants to be admired. He wants to know that he has done enough to be admired. He wants to know that he desired to be adulated. So a man wants to be appreciated in his own house. Especially for him, he doesn't care if he's not appreciated anywhere else. He does not care if he's not appreciated at work or if he's not appreciated in the society. But in his own house, he wants the wife to really acknowledge him. He wants the wife to respect him. He wants the wife to honor him. And he wants the wife to show it. He wants the wife to demonstrate it one way or the other and show that you deserve my honor. You deserve my respect. I respect you. I appreciate everything you are doing. You are just the best. You are trying for the family. You are trying for me. You are trying for everybody. Thank you for what you are doing for my parents. Thank you for what you are doing for my father, for my mother. Thank you that you are there when I felt bad. Thank you that you are there when something happened, that you are always there. Thank you that you are always supportive. Thank you that when I felt bad, and you know what? When a woman talks to the husband like that, you know what happens to the man? He wants to respond by doing more. Now, women might think that if he's not even doing enough and you are telling him that he's doing it and you are thanking him for it, that he will think it's okay, that he will just relax. No. For the man, it's an ego thing. It's about ego. So if you are telling him that he's doing well, if you are telling him that you are grateful for it, he gets challenged. That's the way men are. He gets challenged. And he wants to demonstrate more. He wants to try and do even more. He wants to go, he wants to go out of his way to even demonstrate to you that he can even do more, that he's capable of doing much more than he has done. But if he does not get appreciated, he will stop doing what he was doing before. Even the little he was doing, he will stop. He will just stop. Okay, Beatrice says, this is just encouragement, but respect needs to be earned. And this kind of respect makes the wife like a housemaid girl, and she has no position in the house if she just respects him without him earning it. Yeah, well, there's a truth to that. That's why I said, in the ideal situation, let's assume that the man is doing what he needs to do. But also, it will be a kind of wisdom from the side of the woman if she would know that she's actually sowing what she's expecting from the man. So when he does one little thing and you appreciate that little thing and you thank him for that little thing and you honor him and respect him for that little thing that he has done, the woman should know that she's actually, it's like watering your garden. It's like watering your garden. So it's like she watering a garden, and that little appreciation she has shown and that little gratitude she has shown will grow over time. It will encourage him to give more, to be more responsible, to do much more than he had done so far. So that's the way it works for the man. That's the way it works for the man. His ego needs to be taken care of. His ego needs to be pampered. His ego needs to be, his ego needs to be, to be caressed. So it is not just, okay, somebody said everybody needs to be respected. Yes, even though the woman needs to be respected, of course, the woman needs to be respected too. But she has more need to be loved. The woman, she has more need to be covered, to be protected, to be secured, to be appreciated, to be nurtured, to be romantic towards. She needs to be loved more. But the man, he only needs to be, he doesn't need too much of I love you this. He doesn't even understand what that means. What he wants is that you respect him. He doesn't want much. Men don't need too much. Men just need one and the same thing. Respect. The number one thing on their agenda is respect. No, it's not. The number one thing actually is sex, but we'll talk about that later on. But the number one and number two thing is respect and sex, or sex and respect, in that order. Now that is why the Bible always talks everywhere that the wives are supposed to be submissive to their husbands, because God knows that the greatest need of the man is for his ego to be taken care of, and that the way to take care of the ego of the man is for him to be honored, is for him to be respected, especially in the family. It needs to be respected in the family like no other place, like in no other place. So if his need in the family for respect is met, then he wants to be a hero. Then he wants to go out of himself. Then he wants to do much more than he had done before, or that he is even capable of doing. He wants to, of course, I understand, Beatty, that respect needs to be earned. But when you appreciate him for, and you thank and you show respect for him, especially for the little thing he has done before, you know what he wants to do? He wants to now go and do more and earn more respect, and earn more respect. Somewhere in the Bible, I think it's 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 6. 1 Peter 3:6. The Bible, Peter was talking about Sarah, and said Sarah was obedient to the husband, was submissive to the husband. And submission is is a way to show the man. Submission is just a tool, it's a way, it's a means to show the man honor. Submission is one of the ways to show the man respect. But submission is not the only way to show respect to the man. So I think the ladies should be asking themselves now, how do I show respect and honor to my husband? There are different ways. And I think that every woman needs to look for ways and different ways of showing respect to the husband. One of the ways that the Bible spoke about all the time, that respect and honor should be shown to the man, is by obedience. It's through obedience. That's one way. when he talks, you know, and or he gives out instruction, if you obey him, and if you are able, because sometimes not all instructions could be obeyed, but if you can obey and just obey him and follow his instruction, to him, that might show honor. Not when you are just blindly obeying every instruction, of course, but especially those instructions that you don't feel like obeying, and you know he knows that you have another opinion about it, and you still go ahead and obey him. That actually earns you more respect from the man than when you don't let him know that you don't want to obey. You should let him know that you don't want to obey. He respects you more. The man respects the woman more when he knows that she's having another opinion, but she's still obeyed. Or she's having another, she doesn't like to do the thing, but she just did it to honor him. That shows to him that she's really honoring him. Even though that could be horrible, I think personally that is horrible in the sense that, you know, if she doesn't want to do it and she's forcing herself to do it, she's not happy. And I think a loving husband will not force or make the wife to do things that she doesn't want to do just to keep him happy. You know, I think a man should be more understanding than that, and a man should give the wife the benefit of the doubt and the honor and the freedom of not doing what she doesn't feel like doing. Well, but I'm just telling, that's my own opinion now, but I'm just telling you what men like and what men expect, okay? We are talking about the topic, and the topic is what men expect from their wives. So the men expect for her to be obedient, especially when she's having another opinion. But she still needs to let him know about her opinion and about what she thinks. But if she has another opinion and she still obeys, that really earns her more respect from the man. Now, apart from obedience, apart from being obedient, another way a woman could respect and honor the wife, the husband, another way a woman could honor and respect the husband is by being submissive. Now, being obedient is specific to instructions. Being obedient is a little bit different from being submissive. Being obedient is obedient to specific instructions, but being submissive is more like the attitude of the heart. Being submissive is much more deeper. Being submissive is much more bigger. To be submissive is much more general. To be submissive is more in relations to attitude, to the condition of the heart, to the is more an attitude of continuous respect and continuous honor. Because when you are obedient, you obey a specific instruction. But when you are submissive, and the Bible talks about submissive too. The Bible talks about both for wives to be obedient and for wives to be submissive. Being obedient is to be obedient to his instruction, but being submissive means to actually have that kind of lifestyle of submission, lifestyle of making the man know that he's on top, making the man know that he is the head, making the man know that, I am under you. So being submissive is an act from the side of the woman to creatively find a way of stepping aside, making herself feel lower or under the husband. So it is an effort, an intentional effort from the side of the woman to show honor by stepping down, by stooping low. It is a way that a woman has cultivated or has designed for herself to stoop. Not that she is lower, not that she is inferior, not that she is worse than the man. This is not talking about the position now. They are equal partners. But the wisdom of the man, of the woman, is demonstrated in the fact that even though she might even be smarter sometimes, even though she might even be wiser, even though she might even be more accomplished, but our wisdom of intentionally withdrawing herself from that place of equality, or submitting herself, by stooping down to just intentionally, because you see, when you are submitted because you are inferior, that is really not submission, because you are already inferior. You are already, you are already subjected. But why? What is submission? Submission is why submission is important is that the reason why God is asking for submission is that you are equal. Husband and wife are equal. Husband and wife are on the same level. That's what it means. Submission has to be something you do voluntarily. So when the Bible says a woman should submit to her husband, it means that she is equal, and the man knows that she is equal to him, and she knows that he is equal to her. But despite the fact that she is equal, and the man has given her that right to be equal, and the man has given her that recognition that she's equal, and the man has given her that honor and that respect to be equal, that right to be equal, even though and God has given her that right to be equal. But the wisdom of the woman is, though equal, but to intentionally withdraw herself from that position of equality, to bring herself down to a place of submission. That means that it's not you, my husband, that put me under, but the wife, I myself, put myself under to honor you. I submit myself to you. I put myself under so that you will know how much I want to display to you and show to you that you are honored, that you are respected. That you are respected. So that is what we should know about submission. So submission is what a woman does by herself. Submission is not something that a man commands the woman to do. Submission is not something that a man makes the woman to do. Submission is something that a woman has to do intentionally and on her own accord. Submission has to be given by her to her husband. So when the Bible talks about submission in the Bible, I'm going to read from 1 Peter 3. 1 Peter 3. From verse 5. 1 Peter 3:5. For in this manner, in former times, the holy women who trusted in God also adorned themselves, being submissive to their husbands. You see, they submitted themselves to their husbands. They were submissive. They were not subjected, but they were submissive. So they made themselves to submit. And that is easy for a woman to do, really. When a woman senses love, real love and real care from her husband, when a woman senses real protection and real covering from the husband, she does that easily. She does that easily. She's happy to do that. She's willing to do that, but she still has to do that, and not that not that we are forced. The man has to force her to do it, but if she's smart, she would do that because that fits into his ego. That fits into his importance. That feels into his feeling of being appreciated. That feels into his feeling of being recognized, and that feels into his needs as well. He has the need to be recognized. He has the need to be honored, to be respected. He has that need indwelt in him. It's like a need for him. Just like a need to eat, for example. And a man needs to eat. Such also is the need to be respected. Such also is the need, but the need to be respected is even more important than the need to eat. Because to eat is just a need for the flesh and the body, but the need to be respected is about self-image. It's about self-esteem for the man. And if he's respected, if he has that self-esteem, he can go to any length and he can do anything. So, like for example, in America, what I discovered in America, what I heard in America is that American men, especially the white men now, they are going to Asia, to either Korea or to India. I mean, not India. So Korea and Thailand and China and Japan to look for Eastern women. They look for Eastern women. And one thing with Eastern women, Asian women, is that most of those Asian women, especially in those countries like Korea, China, Thailand, Japan, they have honor. They have honor like crazy. They have respect. In fact, when you go, I've been to Thailand and I've been to Singapore, I've been to Korea, South Korea. One thing even when you are just coming, when we just appear like this, they are bending like this, and they have understanding of honor, big time submission. They submit, and and the white men started running away from women who cannot submit. They started running away from women who are just feminists, because most white women want to be feminists, and they want to create only equality and without seeing the need for submission. But because the men still have that need indwelt in them, he wants that submission. He wants that submission, and it's not that he wants it. It would not. It might not be as some. If the man is really tactful, he will not be asking you for it. He will not be demanding you to be like that, to submit yourself or something like that. If a man is wise and is tactful, he will just wait and in silent. Most men will just be silent about it, but they are, they will be. They might not say it, but they will appreciate it if you give it to them. They will appreciate it if you give it to them. So, like I said, one of the ways to honor and respect a man is by obeying him. But submission is even deeper. It's much more deeper. It's a continuous attitude all the time. It is how you behave towards him all the time. It is letting him know that, even though you are equal, even though you are mates, even though you are partners, it is that ability of a woman to always withdraw herself backward, to always kind of submit, to always withdraw her right. So submission is your voluntary withdrawal of your own legitimate right. It is your voluntary desire to pull back, to step back, just to let him know that since you are my head, I honor you, I respect you. There are other ways you can show that. For example, in this scripture I was reading, 1 Peter 3:5, it says, "For in this manner, in former times, the only women who trusted in God adorned themselves with submission, being submissive to their own husbands. They were submissive to their own husbands. They themselves, they made it happen. They are the ones in charge. They were not made to do it, but they did it out of wisdom. So they were submissive to their husbands, and somewhere here it says, as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord. That's verse 6. That's an example of one of the godly women that submitted themselves to their husband. And the way the woman submitted, that Sarah here, the Sarah submitted, she submitted herself by calling him Lord. As Sarah obeyed Abraham, so she obeyed Abraham, that's one thing. And one of the ways she demonstrated that obedience, that submission, that honor to him was by calling him Lord. Now, calling him Lord doesn't make him Lord. But calling him Lord, you see that it just said calling him Lord. Because sometimes some people misunderstand that scripture and they say that the husband should be the Lord over the wife. No, it's not the wife being the Lord, the husband being the Lord. You see, it didn't say here that he was the Abraham was the Lord over Sarah. Sarah was not a slave. Sarah was an equal partner, even in the Old Testament. But she herself, her willing desire is something that she did willingly, and she only called him. That is the way she usualized him. That's the way she usualized him. That's the way she honored him. That's the way she praised him. That's the way she demonstrated honor. She demonstrated respect to him. That is a way of visualizing him. That is a way of making him know that is important. That's the way of making him know that he is the head of the family. That is the way of, that is our wisdom. That is a wise way of letting him know that he is a hero, that he is the best, that he is our head, that he is that she is totally belonging to him, that she has submitted herself to him. So that is a usualizing that is going on there, adoration that is going on there. But that doesn't mean that she is inferior and he is the Lord, so she's just a slave in the family. That is not what that place is talking about. That place is talking about calling. It's only calling. It's not being. It's calling. It's because the basis of a marital relationship is equality. They are equal, and it is because of that equality that is at the basis of the marriage union. It is that equality that now makes the woman to be the one to intentionally and consciously idolize the husband. She has to, know and be willing and willingly submit, willingly be submissive, willingly submit herself. Even though they are equal, but she brings herself under. She willingly submits herself to him. She willingly recognizes his authority. She willingly, admires his authority. She willingly talks, glowingly about his authority. So it says, as Sarah obeyed Abraham, obeyed is also, so one of the ways to honor and respect a man is to obey him. I've spoken about that already. And obedience is talking about concrete instructions. But the one that's more challenging for the woman is that continuous status, is that continuous attitude, continuous walk, continuous ability to conduct herself right, to conduct herself in an honoring way, to conduct herself in an honoring way. So the ability of the woman to submit is is continuous, and she has to look for ways. She has to look for ways to demonstrate that submission. She has to look for ways to demonstrate that submission. And one of the way that Sarah has chosen to demonstrate that submission is by giving him a pet name. Giving him a pet name. For me, I think the word Lord here is a pet name, is a pet title, and is an adulation kind of. It's a way of adulating him. It's a way of, okay, for example, you could call him honey. Honey is more like what a woman would like to hear. But honey, I know men and women in America and everybody all over the world now, they are copying that. So a man will call the wife honey, and then the wife will respond also and call the husband honey. But you know what I think? If you really want to follow the biblical example of adulation, if you really want to give your husband a name and call him something that will really help him, honey is not bad, but honey doesn't really make him know. You have to give him a title or a pet name or a pet title or that is adulating, that is showing respect to him, that is making him to know that he is celebrated, that is making him to know that he is adulated, that is being adored. It has to be something adoring. It's not just like honey. Honey is something sweet. That's who a woman wants to be. But a man wants to be a hero. My hero, for example. If you call your husband my hero, wow. Okay, you see, women are mentioning some different names. They are saying sweetie. Sweetie is again for the woman. Sweetie is not what a man wants to be. He doesn't want to know what is sweetie. For him, he doesn't want to be sweet or be a honey or something like that. Or love. Okay, Deborah is saying love. Love, like I said, love is not the premier desire of the man. Love is not the greatest desire that a man wants. He doesn't want to be a love. He doesn't want to, he wants to be loved, but my love is okay for him, not bad. But when you call him my hero or my Superman or my king, those kind of things, my lion, those kind of, it has to be something like that makes my super D, okay, my superb man. Mike, those, yes, now you are talking. But everywhere where I go now, my heart, no, those are feminine kind of things. You darling, you are giving me all kind of feminine. Those are things that appeal more to the woman. My heart, my love, all those things. Those are just things. I'm talking about manhood thing. I'm talking about something that will make the man be a man. That will boost his ego. My babe, calling a man babe. What kind of babe? Anita, we calling a man babe? Of course, if you call him babe, he will not. He will say okay. He will agree. He will at least see your effort that you are trying to call him something. You are trying to call him a babe. So okay. He will say yes. He will pretend that it's okay, but. Babe is not something you should call a man. A man is not waiting for to be called a babe. He's even going to be ashamed with it. So if you call him my hero, my champion, for example, my champion is a beautiful one. For the man, if you call him my champion, woo! Or my superhero. Wow. Now you are boosting his ego. Now you are messing him up. My hero, yeah. Now you are messing him up. But all those things, everybody is calling each other my honey, all those honey, love, darling. men are, men are easygoing. So men just submit. Men just say, okay, my majesty, yeah, not bad. But all those honey things, they are just American something, and you will know that those things were taught by women. My honey, all those things. Those are just things that you will see that you will see that those things are coming from women teaching. But if you really want to know the thing about what men think and how they would like to be addressed, listen to this, my message. This is the one that will tell you men's opinion. It's a man talking now, not my. Okay. Vivian said, my man. Yes, my man is not bad. My man is not bad. My giant is not bad. Yes, all those kind of things. Yeah. So those are better things. Okay, now Victor Ogudikwe is confirming what I just said. You see, Victor Ogudikwe said, I told my wife, I'm not baby. Oh, my children is my baby. I'm not baby. Make you don't call me baby. That is a typical man right there. What Victor just said there, that is a typical man. Okay, for example, one day I had Nkiru talking about her husband and calling her husband babe. I just kept quiet. I said, this girl, she's just a girl, that's all. She's just a girl. Because that is what ordinary, in films or in novels, that is what they are calling men. And I just say, nobody has taught them. They are just behaving like women to us. They don't know that we are different though. Men has not taught this topic. I don't know who is teaching them those things. Calling a man babe. Okay. But I know that Obi and any other man, they will just, they are just submissive. They will just behave themselves, at least because they see your effort. They see that you want to try. You are trying. You want to do your best. You want to, honor them. You want to pet them. You want to respect them. So they receive it quietly and they pretend as if they like it. But if you come up with something like my champion, my king, my hero, my lion, my hero, my superhero, my things like that, those will really minister to, I said minister, minister, my word, yeah. Okay, Ezekiel saying my word, yeah, that's not bad. My champion, my winner. So he needs a name that will make him, be a giant, a leader, that will make him go and perform, that will make him, he needs a name that will make him to go out, man is about ego. My giant, my man, yes, those things. A man needs to go out and, and feel himself nice. My lion, my, yes, my king, all those kind of things. It needs something, my majesty, So a man needs something that will boost his pride, that will, my pride, yes, that's another good one. And so, so I don't know, but if you people, you are going to be calling your husband something like this, things like my warrior, my warrior maybe not, but my hero, yeah, because warrior is just warring. What did he get? My trophy. So, but if you come up also with something like this, that will really minister to the man, it shows your honor. So, but like Sarah got a good one too. Okay, somebody said my presido, my prime minister. Things like that could minister to a woman, to a man. He might like it. But Sarah got a good one, and Sarah called Abraham my Lord. My Lord, wow, that is totally, what do you call it? Yeah, that is conquering. That is my crown. Wow, my crown, my everything. Yes. Now you people are coming. Now the ladies are coming up with good options now. My excellency. Now you are talking. My provider. Now somebody is asking here. What's her name? Anita is asking me. Now, Pastor, what does your wife call you? That's a big question right there. That is a big question. Okay, let me tell you about my wife. When we were married, this was one of the biggest challenges my wife faced. This was the biggest challenge my wife faced when we were married. In fact, it got to a place that she came to me and said, because I would call her princess. I call her princess from the very first day. Even before I married, I was already well informed. Like I said, that before I married, I studied the subject of women, men, and I made myself really prepared. So I knew that I was going to call my wife princess. I heard about honey, but I didn't just want to be like every other person, call it honey. And then they call each other honey. I mean, the girl says honey, the wife says honey, and then the woman says honey. I mean, the same thing? Men and women, are you the same? Why honey? Is it the same thing? It has to be different somehow. Anyway, she also guessed that okay, since I'm calling her princess, she was asking, so she had to come to, she was asking other women, what do you people call your husband? Because my husband is calling me, she was just calling me Sunday. At first. Then she discovered that she's calling me Sunday and I'm calling her princess. I think she started feeling somehow. And so she then started asking other women, and other women were just saying, they call their husband daddy, or she doesn't like that idea of daddy, or something like that. So then some other women say they just call their husbands by their names. And she's calling me by my name, which is okay, I don't care. But I think she was always concerned that maybe it's not a good thing for her just to be calling me by Sunday when I'm calling her princess. So it became a real burden for her. It was a real burden for her. And she was asking until she had to come to me. Until she has to come to me and be saying, what do you want me to call you? And me, I didn't want to be the one to tell her what to be calling me. So I was saying, call me anything you want. Call me Sunday, call me anything you want. She said, but you are calling me princess. Maybe I should call you prince. I said, no, prince, don't call me prince. If I call you princess, you call me prince. Just like you are responding, like honey again. No, call me something from your heart. Then one day we were listening to one of the pastors in Nigeria, one Nigerian pastor, and the wife was talking, and we heard the wife talking in that audio message, and the wife was addressing the man as pastor, publicly at least, as pastor. So I told her, so you see this woman now, if you don't know what to call me, the person just called pastor now. I mean, that woman is just calling her husband pastor. You want to say pastor, please? She said, you are not against pastor? I said, I'm not against. I said, if it's convenient for you, can use pastor. So that's how she just started calling me pastor from there. So she's calling me pastor. Pastor also is not bad for the man. Pastor is okay because pastor is also a form of respect and a form of honor. So my wife calls me pastor. That's what you wanted to know. Okay. Well, let me see some of your topics. I don't know. This is just one point we addressed today. This is just one point we have addressed today, right? But there are so many things that men want from their wives. So this is just the first one. This is the easy one. This is the easy. And I'm sure the men are happy. And I'm sure the men are happy. I'm sure the men are happy. I'm sure the men are happy. So, so I hope the women are not too cross today with this teaching. But since we have agreed to go through this topic, get ready psychologically. Make you get ready, because what the men want, what the men want from the woman, they are serious. So so here we go. Let me see what you people are writing, by the way. Let me see some of your comments here. Nkiru said, I send my husband notes like, you are my Superman. I know that boosts his ego. It works magic. Now that is talking. Yeah, Superman is wonderful. You are my Superman. It's just beautiful. That is Nkiru Ojima to say that. Niyi Olushola said, the man thinks if my wife can appreciate this, what I am doing, I have to do more so I can earn more accolades. But if the wife doesn't appreciate the man, he thinks, why bother? She won't even value what I've done. I might as well stop. If women will follow this teaching, they are going to see more response from the man. Women, polish your man's ego. It works. This is Niyi Olushola saying this. Omonika said, but Pastor Sunday, chronic African men don't even say I love you to their wives. Even Christian men. You know what I would advise women to do in such case? Tell him that I need you to tell me that you love me, please. Just tell him that if you love me, please say it at least once a day. Or once a week, or I don't know, whatever you want it. Ekun Sami Thompson said, if you look at a king, you will understand the need of a man to be respected and honored, you see? So men would like to be called my king, I guess. Okwe says, in the first place, a woman should not marry a man she cannot respect. Just like a man should not marry a woman that he cannot love, protect, and care for. Men should also make themselves respectable, right? Deati Mula said, I believe it's a cultural thing as well. Where is true love? Where there is true love, there is always effort to make life better. When the man has self-respect, then it's easy to honor and respect a man. Is it cultural? It's not cultural, Beati. It's not cultural. It is men. Every man has the need for respect and for ego, and they have ego. Every single man in any country. Now, in Europe, yes, I know that in Europe, the men in Europe has been curtailed, and the men in Europe have been reduced to just softy. But, still they have that desire and they have that need to be respected. So it's not just about Africa or anything. Every man everywhere. I mean, if it's written in the Bible, if the Bible is saying be submissive, obey your husband and submit to your husband, that means that is the need of the man. It's an indwelt need of the man, natural. That is the way men are created. Ekun said, Pastor, this is 100%. When a man says that he is obeyed, despite the woman's personal opinion, the man may even withdraw that instruction. You see, that is the way men think. Davida said, a man needs to make sure his self-esteem is healed first. Otherwise, no amount of respect will satisfy his need for respect. Flair Karim Matip said, men want their wife to speak to them like Abigail spoke to David, with honor, respect. David couldn't resist to this woman. When her husband Nabal died, he got married with her without hesitation. Yep, that's what men need. But Davida is saying, but obedience should not be blind, but reasonable. There are matters that don't have great negative consequences like others do. Ireti said, Pastor, I know how to make Israel feel very much on top. He enjoys submission from me. Yes, that's the same with every man. The same thing with every man. Oh. I don't go ahead until he is cool with my decision, but I end up getting my way almost all the time. That is wisdom right there. That is big, big wisdom, Ireti. Ojuolakwe said, submissive means acknowledging the headship of the man and living accordingly daily, a lifestyle. Yes. Ekunsami says, listen, ladies, Pastor just dropped another nugget. By creatively, you have to creatively find a way to step aside. Creatively find the ways to step aside. Davida said, most women don't like to be submissive because they equate submission to obedience. I already explained the difference between the two. Pro David said, the balance between respect and obedience is applying wisdom, not an easy task for an ordinary woman. Ekunsami says, when the woman wants to let the man know that she doesn't agree, she has to do it with an attitude of reverence, not like saying, I am just doing it because you are the husband too. You are my husband. You know, the man sees the attitude. The attitude has to be right. Paul says, if you are submitting as a woman out of inferiority, that is not the kind of submission the Bible is talking about. Yes, it's not. It shouldn't come out of inferiority. It should come out of equality. That submission we are talking about comes out of equality, not out of inferiority. Shiga said, when you are forced to submit, it's oppression. Yeah, that is true. Submission can only be done willingly. Yes. Davida said, equality is a foundation for a healthy marriage. Yes, Jesus was equal to the Father, but submitted himself willingly. Yep. Ushe Shuku Amadi said, I would like to be a guest in the house of the Ojimadus. Well, I'm sure they are reading this. Ekunsami says, a man will even reject food if he feels dishonored. That is true. Which means respect and honor is more important to him than food. Davida said, we need to remember though that marriage is meant only for people who are healed and whole. Otherwise, other issues start clouding the picture. That is right. That's why I personally believe that 50% of men and women shouldn't even marry. They shouldn't marry because they have to be healed, and most people are not healed. Esther Kuganja said, yes, demanding for respect, sometimes quoting scripture just kills the spirit. Let it come out naturally, voluntarily from the lady's heart without being forced. Otherwise, it turns into slavery. Yep. Obina said, women must discover the love in submission. When women submit to their husbands, they are not debasing themselves. Rather, they are demonstrating the love of Christ because he made himself of no reputation and laid down his life for us all. Deborah says, so husbands must be utilized? Yes. Davida said, we are equal in Christ. If men and women were not equal, the price to redeem a man would have been different from the price to redeem a woman. The same blood is the value God places on all, no male or female in Christ. Tayo Stevens says, Pastor, you are so balanced in your teachings. If all women follow your teachings and all men follow your teachings, all the relationship problems in the world will be solved overnight, and the world will be a better and wonderful place to live in. Thank you, sir. You are now my hero. It's now that I became his hero that I started talking about women. Okay, Ushechukwu Amadi said, obedience and submission is very vital in order to build a strong and beautiful home. A man will naturally do more for his family when his wife submits. A woman's love language is love, while that of a man is respect. Yep. Darlene says, even in African culture, they make us, the women, feel as if we are slaves. Anything a man said, we should just take it like that. Well, that is from the place of slave is wrong. That is not a biblical perspective. The foundation for marriage is equality, according to the Bible. Davida said, we can be equal and still respect each other. Equality should not equate to disrespect. Victor Ogundikwe said, I can't agree more. I call my wife queen and she calls me king, you see. So we must call our husband a name that speaks to his ego. Yes, that's what Davida is saying. Daniel Atsenga said, "You see now, everyone is enjoying this topic now. It is good to learn it to learn it. It will come handy. It might come in handy." Amadi Usheshuku said, "Wow, sir, this teaching is awesome. I'm learning seriously from what you are saying." Pearl David said, Oluwatoyi said, "Teach us further, continue teaching us. See the things the women would have missed if you had not started teaching this." Haruna Emina said, "It's funny how some men demand respect without realizing they need to continually do their part to love their wives like Christ loved the church. How do we reconcile women respecting men when we are saddled daily with stories of serial marital infidelity, physical, emotional abuse, etc.? Then we live in a society where the woman is always blamed for marital problems. If men begin to truly love as Christ loves the church, the average woman will show respect. In marriage, both parties need to continually spend time with the word and allow the Holy Spirit to teach us how to treat your spouse." Yeah, I agree. Ekun Sami said, "Pastor, there might be a place for baby, honey, when we are being romantic." You see, he said when we are being romantic. That is the key word, when you are being romantic. Anastasia said, "I'm going to look for a double barrel name for my husband." Davida said, "This is mind-blowing." Shigo said, "All this name calling seems like flattering." Is it flattering? But Bindemi said, "If you call a man my lord, he will empty his pocket sharp, sharp." Tayo said, Abigail in the Bible was able to sweep David off his feet, from the one, even though David did not respond at first. But when the right opportunity came, David went for her and married her because of honor. Esther Kuganja said, I have really enjoyed this teaching, Pastor. I have learned much. Thank you." Paul David said, "Pastor, I enjoy you as usual." Veronica, interesting topic. Sorry, I'm just joining. Niyi, so true. I think any man who is called to be a pastor will be very happy. Anytime my husband calls me pastor, I feel great. Deborah said, "I know a lady who called her husband uncle. They were dating till date." Anastasia, I think the best think the best thing today, Pastor, is looking for honorable names for your husband. So I need to change what I'm calling him right now. Ushe Amadi, it was indeed an amazing time with Dr. Adelaja. I was so informed and blessed. Maloney said, I must change from babe. Thanks, Pastor. Shinwe said, when people are transparent, you can predict them. Call your husband names that equates to the circumstances. Yes. Darlene said, thank you so much, sir. You don't know you have transformed my life without your teaching. I don't know where I could have been today. Anastasia said, I need to write a list and choose one that rings true for my husband. I've gotten an assignment for today before we both come back from work. Nee said, Pastor Sunday, Dr. Adelaja, I feel your wife calling you pastor is great because it confirms she believes your calling and you are actually practice what you are preaching. God bless you, Pastor. God bless Pastor Bosse. Joy says, I'm blessed listening to this morning's teaching. May God bless you always. Darlene said, thank God. Every day I have some of your teachings to listen to. Thank God for your life. Thank God for giving you to us. Davida, respect is not cultural. I know of white male Americans who expect respect, unless culture has changed that through things like feminist movements. Ekonsami said, Pastor, if one has an unsubmissive woman, what should the man do? That's why you find a man sometimes trying to force the submission. What a man should do is to love her. What a man should do is to do all the things I've been teaching here for the past 1 month. If a man will do that towards the woman definitely will be submissive. Ekonsami said, the ladies need to understand that this respect thing is a need for the man. So saying that a man should wait isn't natural for a man. It's true. Jide said, women, you ladies should listen to this. Beauty attracts a man, but honor retains the man. Ekun said, yes, men and women are equal in Christ, but not in marriage. The woman is a helpmeet to the man. A man who is ready doing God's call gets a woman who can help him. How then can they be equal in marriage? That is Ekun saying that to Ekun Thompson. Ufoma said, I just called my hobby my Superman, and the children started singing Superman Daddy. I guess I have to get another name. Vivian Taylor, Pastor Sunday, this has been a very informative session, fun session, and thank you for being so open with us. God bless you. Doris Ngere, Pastor, today's teaching is awesome. Monica, Pastor Sunday, thanks so much for this teaching, sir. God bless you. Stella Nuhu. Dr. Adelaja, you are an amazing mentor, coach, father. Bumi Oluwatose, greater blessing, Pastor Sunday. We've learned it in a better way. We are going there. Our daughter-in-laws are really gonna be grateful when we tell your story. So you are cherished. Doris Ngere says, Pastor, does the name have to be in English? Can't it be in our native language? Of course, it can be in your native language, because I don't know your native language. I only know English. That's why I'm using English names. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. I'll be back in the evening to continue the topic. Blessings. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Please don't forget to share the link. Let's go and share the link and the message. It could be a blessing to somebody out there. Have a wonderful day.